Ready to go! You now enter Google Hangout on air so you can stream live from your webcam. See, the thing is that I would like to stream live from this thing that I paid a lot of money for, and not from this. Alright, now we're in the straight up wrong thing. And just, yes, please start the stream at end time. Right, get that right. Oh, fine, chill. Chill. I know, it's because I just changed my password. It's fine. Avery, I'm just dealing with a lot right now, and I really wish you wouldn't laugh at me.
You're doing a lot? So
I'm dealing with a lot.
You're dealing with a lot. Well, on average, we're doing pretty well, because I'm having a lot of fun.
Okay, that's good. Alright, YouTube, tell me, am I live right now? On anything? History. Where's my watches?
Oh, that's what I gotta do. I gotta brake. I gotta power slide and then brake.
I never break.
Well,
I'm live on the edge.
you probably go ice skating too.
Alright, this says live now.
Are we live?
I've been cursing like a good sailor.
I got third. Not bad.
Alright. Alright. Last check. Is my website working? Yes. Guys, it's working!
Oh, there you are. What do we have? Like 3 seconds or something?
Probably have 10 minutes of me just crying.
No, I mean...
Oh, the delay?
Yeah.
No, I think it's like...
We gotta act like pros. There's no delay. I don't think we should act like pros. You can. I cannot.
See, can someone please hire me to just like TD and stuff? Because I try to keep my crap together.
Do what? Yeah,
Technical direct and stuff. Alright, the only bad thing is the saturation is a little lower than I would like, but what are you going to do about it? So, we're going to go to wide and pretend that this is working well. I'm trying to think.
What's up? So we're live now.
Yeah, oh, I wanted to open the chat. That's what I wanted to do. Let's see if I have any friends who support me in my efforts. Hi guys, we're here. We are out here and I know we are live and I'm just trying to get to that one page where I can see... Alright, I'm gonna end this. Where I can see... Nope, don't share. See the good stuff. And where I can see what y'all are saying. Nope. That's not it.
Comments.
Comments? Comments? Nope. YouTube is a really good platform that works well and in a way that is very helpful for its users. Oh, Christ in heaven. Oh, here's the chat. All right, sick. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We are out here pretending like we know anything that's going on. I'm gonna post to the Facebook event. Just in case anyone wants to help us out. You have 2 events coming up right now. One is the one you're hosting. That could be going better. Could be going better. But that's okay.
Maybe reach out to a person or two?
If you want. That'd be cool.
So I don't have to explain anything?
Just go to ramblin.live. I'm on the internet right now. Ramblin.live. Ask me some dumb questions.
Okay. Call. Can I call? Are we live? Does it matter?
You can talk to people on the... You can do whatever you want. But we are on the internet right now. Boy, Facebook is a really great platform because it makes it easy for me to see my own stuff that I'm trying to do. It's not. It's really not. It should not take me 30 seconds to find my own event on Facebook. Is all I'm saying. Okay.
Ramblin' live.
As long as we don't... One person's watching, it's probably me. I'm gonna use the bathroom, because why not? Before anyone gets here. Feel free to talk trash about me.
Yeah. It's kind of helpful but disconcerting at the same time. Are you able to give me a ride home after this?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. I got you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Does Mary Jane have the van?
The van is...
It's not out of commish.
It's out of commission.
No! I loved your van.
I thought of you actually because we were talking vans.
Yeah, we were talking vans.
For now, it is resting.
Like in peace, like you perpetuate.
I'm not ready to say that yet.
I'm online. I'm such an old... I shouldn't say that.
Oh, yeah. I'll do it. Say, online?
I'm on the interwebs.
Yeah. You gotta wear that. What else do you say?
I have honestly, I really do have a hard time with like the verbs with this activity. Because like...
Just add I'm onlining now.
Share everywhere, please. Introducing Stories Archive. I don't even. Okay, well. Come hell or high water, I will make this happen. Cool.
Cool.
Alright, now we're recording too. So that's good. So that's probably the only thing people are gonna watch. It's fine. And I'll just trim the beginning off of this. Oh, I don't know if you care, but it looks like Cardi B and Offset are breaking up.
Who? This is, you found me crawling out of my hole. Who?
Who now?
Who now? You speak
Now
up.
who?
And feel free. I'm with you in a second.
No, you're fine.
I have to tend to my fans. Okay.
All right.
Here
this
we
is
are.
the beginning of the recording. Hi, everybody.
Hello, recording.
Hello, recording. We've been streaming for about 15 minutes while I try to figure out how to work YouTube. I'm trying to calm my heart rate as I deal with my embarrassment. But we are here with
No embarrassment.
No embarrassment. We're here with Amery Kessler, and he's been really nice and supportive this whole time. Amery is an artist working out of Columbus, Ohio, whose work focuses primarily on creating sculptural encounters that bring people together in a way they might not have otherwise. Do you want to speak more?
I'd be happy to. Don't know exactly what to say.
Just recite your artist statement.
Yeah. There's something about magnets or mirrors that seem to come up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Attraction, distance, proximity, and something about something holding space between us, keeping us separate, and also giving us the chance to connect at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for example, glass checkers. What is it called?
mirror checkers.
Mirror checkers.
So you play a game of checkers, somewhat as you normally would. It's still competitive, but there's a whole set of checkers on one side of a pane of glass and a whole set on the other side. And so if I make a move, you also have to make my move with me so our pieces can realign. And you could play that at a bus stop, any kind of glass pane window that you could find. Bus stop, cafe window, but also if I'm in a gallery, I have a pane of glass that I take around with me and play there.
It's fun, and it's easy to mess up too, because when I was playing with Mary Jane, or no, was it Andrew? When we were recording that thing for Broad and High? Yeah, I jugged it a couple times. Should we get into this gameplay so we're both less nervous?
I'm thinking the gameplay is going to be my nervous space, but let's give it a shot.
The nervous zone. I need good luck, so I'm starting with Toadette.
Who is this?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. Maybe we should just let all these viewers know that
Yeah, all just
I'm
you and me. It's the two of us
new
out
to
here
this.
on our own. You know the legend of Mario, right?
See, I have a hard time knowing how much what I'm doing right now matters.
That's I told you how to bring your stats up.
Well, I'm ready,
Okay, well, fine.
but
You
I don't
can
know
just
what
write
the
us like
stats
ATB.
mean.
That's fair. I honestly don't know how to explain it to you.
I don't know if I would understand if you did, so.
That's fair enough. All right.
There's something about the work. A lot of the work gives you a chance to hang out with someone without going into conversation.
So I feel like in my experience with your work, that's nice because it creates like kind of a meditative space.
Hmm.
And doesn't have as much like social angst and implications or something. Is that fair to say?
I'd like to think it's not confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not much about a spectacle either. It's kind of is.
Which I guess a lot of art really is just about the spectacle, huh? In a way that can a lot of times detract from, like, I don't know, the meaning of it or something. Like, I've been thinking a lot about Carolee Schneeman's work and like other performative, like, female-bodied artists who use their body to talk about something without acknowledging like the practice of sex workers and stuff. I don't know, and it like makes me it used to like seem to feel liberating in a second wave way, and now I'm just like, what are we really doing here? And it kind of makes me feel weird inside. But so you also just opened Creative Currents.
Yes, I did, with the help of a lot of people.
Do you want to shout out some of those people, or just?
It's too much pressure.
Okay.
They know who they are. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, I want to pause.
Yeah.
All right, your controls are good. I'm going to go back on YouTube, or not YouTube, but Instagram. Because, I don't know, just to try to hope to get anything, something, anything? Anybody, anything? It's just only, now we're going to mess up that camera. No, we're not. It's going to be fine. So Creative Currents.
Creative Current.
Creative Current.
Creative Current.
Mario? Mario Creative Currents.
So, yeah, you'll have to come back when, this is a nice, quiet evening.
But when
You have to come back when we have more of a full house here.
Yeah, I'm sure I miss the farm. I'm so happy I follow the farm on Facebook because it's so nice to see updates from people.
Mm-hmm.
Amery hired me to make a documentary that I intended on editing into a longer documentary, and never did, about a project called Recycled Sounds that was at a place up in Canton, Ohio called The Farm that's
Near Canton, Mount
near
Vernon.
Canton. Mount Vernon or Mount Vernon?
Mount Vernon.
Oh, Mount Vernon.
Just hit a cow, but I guess everyone knows that. All of you.
See the shame.
Shame.
Out Mount Vernon, we go cow tipping.
Cow tipping with Mario and friends.
And I don't even know how to joke. It hurts. Dude, you're in second?
Yeah.
You're doing
I'm
so
about to get
good.
you.
Well, I already won, so
Well, we'll have to review.
maybe next time though. But anyway, the farm is like what? A center for adults with developmental disabilities? Is that okay to
Yes.
say?
Yep.
Okay.
And so Creative Current is a satellite of that here in Columbus, a satellite of Family Disability Services. We're a space for all kinds of people to experience creativity with a balance of everyday life kind of things like cooking, taking care, well-being in general. Also a place for adults with disabilities to spend their days and cross paths, find mentorship. I'm burning out. What's going on?
What do you mean, what's going on?
You don't want to know. I was just doing some tricks off the start. Playing with the brake more than I was the gas. And so we've had photographer, dancers, musicians, people coming together. I think with a process focus more than a place for finished kind of shows or exhibitions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. That will kind of be determined as we grow.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like we're there right now. We're at Creative Current, and the space does feel like more of a warm, welcoming, active studio kind of a space, which is really nice compared to, I don't know, it seems like everyone's starting to try a space that's a studio and a gallery, and it's nice that, you know, you're focusing on people's actual needs or like things that they would benefit from, like
needs, curiosities, and experience of,
yeah.
I think, a place to kind of take risks without seeing it as a final product.
Mm-hmm. And like I feel like our friends at the farm were also intimidated like by the idea of making art sometimes. I don't know.
Sometimes if it was called art. So
Yeah.
if people have a predetermined idea of what that is, it can kind of hinder
The actual art making process.
yeah, a
Like
curiosity
creative
or a will to try something new material, a new process.
That's understandable.
Ooh.
Side note, Amery and I recorded an episode over the summer, and
On a
the
porch.
audio was terrible because I didn't have the mic and sound card yet, and we were on a porch, and
And it's too bad because we discussed and discovered the mysteries and answers to the most difficult questions in the
I know,
world.
I just felt so assured of myself and my place in the world after that, and then I went back to try to listen to it, I just couldn't. It was inaudible, completely. Pretty devastating.
I'm in a solid fourth right now.
I mean, you're doing really
Ooh.
well. Oh, Yoshi got you there. Sorry, dude. But yeah. I don't know. And then we were also toying with the idea of having a few of these streams with Amory's clients down the line. I don't know. Maybe we should pick that up in a year and like
Mhm.
see how people feel
Give it
by
some
then.
time.
Yeah. Because I definitely like want to have Mary Jane on and other mutual friends of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Probably people at Milo I should try to get in touch with. I'm just trying to make something that we can all enjoy and feel fools about.
Guess. See?
Hey, what else were we talking about?
I'm pretty sure at some point I said, so the world needs more art and less art.
Oh,
We
last
arrived
time?
there. Yeah. Oh, you mean what we were talking about right now?
Yeah, like when I was trying to figure out the stream. But that's a
Oh.
fun discussion too.
Yeah.
What do you mean by more art and less art? Exactly.
I don't know what I mean or meant. It may have something to do with lately I think art can function in a lot of ways, or things being labeled art can function in a lot of ways, and I think more isn't necessarily the best measure of better, and I think it kind of blurs the definition in a not so interesting but maybe problematic way. It's kind of vague, but generally it might have things to do with say like, and I don't want to take all of this on, but gentrification, or the appearance of success without tending to other needs of a community.
Mm-hmm. And without, yeah, especially the community that was there previous to whatever
And
change
yeah.
going on.
Third place, strong third place.
Wow, you are really gaming right now. And I appreciate it. So do you mean like how art washing is one of the first steps into gentrification and how damaging that can be to a community? Like we need less of that.
We need less of that. I think we need.
And probably less of like the attempt to commodify art, even though that's like probably the only way a lot of artists see themselves making a living. But like it would be really dank if we had more flexibility in what creative practices are, and like and what people are able to do with them. That's a big reason why I'm focusing on making content like this instead of like trying to make arty experimental films. Is because like I just feel like this could lead to something down the road, and I don't have the confidence in my filmmaking. Although I have a good idea now that I might try to work on.
Oh yeah? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so you don't have to talk?
I will. I'll try to explain your idea. I'm in a strong 8th place right now, and I'm holding an ink ghost.
Well, a few years ago, I had this idea for like a sort of a multiverse narrative where the same person in different universes is able to communicate with themselves across different universes. And it just seemed like a concept that might be fun to like write for sci-fi, just for the sake of sci-fi. I don't know, I couldn't think of like a good reason why I should work on that project. But recently, I've been having this feeling of like where I'm driving, usually when I'm driving, and I like see some trees or a street or something, and it reminds me specifically of like a place and time that I thought I had been in, or that I felt like I had memories of, but they weren't my own memories. And like this place felt like home, and it felt like I had a family there or something. So it's like really unsettling because I'm just like, what is reality? What does this mean? But also, it's interesting because like, what if I do have memories from a past life? Or what if there is some sense of like a multiverse thing going on and I could be tapping into that, which are like fun thought experiments or more like feeling experiments, honestly.
So it's scary, but
it's a little bit scary. But also, yeah.
Do you feel responsible for memories that you're not sure are yours?
Oh no, I just like sit back. I don't try to like actively do anything with them besides to like see if I can get more details, because I can't get any details related to like time or very specific to place.
Can you see what place I'm in? I can't see.
You're in first.
Oh,
what do you mean you can't? Oh my god, you totally got me. You totally fucking got me, dude.
It didn't last, but I caught
No,
it in time.
it was worth it just for the fucking joke. God. Okay, are we gonna game? Are we just gonna game?
I'm often game. Okay, so you got.
But in general, I've also been trying to grapple with like my whole. I just like have really poor memory, and in my own life that I like know happened, and I've been thinking about like grappling with that feeling of being lost in like a multitude of ways in my art making or filmmaking or something.
Oh yeah, let's talk about being lost in a second, but that's a post-it note. Keep going.
But so I was at work the other day just thinking about this feeling, because on my way to work I had that feeling again, and I was like, oh, what if this could like become part of this multiverse thing that I've been thinking about for a few years? And what if that is like the meaning that I've been waiting to figure out? God.
Is this multiverse? Is the
like
meaning?
Maybe it's a byproduct of the multiverse theory, and it's such a specific feeling and mood that I feel like I could try to replicate it in filmmaking terms. Get out of my life. Nice. So, and then I was talking to my roommate about it because she's a filmmaker, and I was like, is this like what filmmakers do? They just like when she made Virgin Suicides. See, I mentioned the name first because I was hoping to remember the director's name, but I don't. Sofia Coppola. Like, did she just like have this fantasy about a bunch of teenage girls who like killed themselves? I don't know. Is that like what inspired her to make the movie? Is that what inspiration is? I don't know. But maybe I'll try to like do something with it. I don't know. But what about being lost or feeling lost or something?
Oh, I think it's a trick for some reason, but I don't know why.
A trick?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
There's no being lost ever, really, but it just... people go through it feeling like they're lost. I think the idea of the labyrinth is suspicious. Or, like, You don't have to find your way out. You're not even in it, but it feels like you are sometimes. It gets really intense. I don't know why.
Wait, are you saying the feeling of
Being
lost is a trick?
An illusion. Or
Okay.
a delusion, yeah. But a really relatable one, I would say. Right?
Yeah. Wait. Oh. But it feels so real. How can it be a delusion? It's like one of the few feelings I have most often.
Yeah. And that makes it... And, yeah, on a certain scale, that makes it feel more real, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's more familiar. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to say about that.
Sweet, bro. Well, how do you mean a delusion then? You seem intent on gaming, so I'm gonna go back to gaming here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm improving a lot, and so I'm getting that sugar rush off of a quantifiable...
I should probably know the term for that. There's gotta be a term for that.
For what?
For that exhilaration.
Yeah. Pride?
I mean, but it's also like gamer rage, right? It's gotta be related to that, I feel like.
I'm not gonna be I don't know. Okay, here's my chance. What's the exclamation point there?
That just means it's a new thing.
No. Wow, I can't tell you how much. Let's go for that. Yeah,
what y'all don't know is that actually interviewing Amery and making a video about him involves editing out this much pausing and stuff, so this is about as good as it gets.
I've got some downtime in my
in your, not vocalization. There's gotta be
Pace?
a better word for that. Pace? Yeah. Timing?
If my speech was a line, maybe dotted line.
Or it would read
Or
like an
dash.
E. Cummings poem or something, just like indents refrains. Wait, but I'm still interested. Okay, so like, why do you feel like the feeling of being lost is a delusion? What do you mean by that? We're just gaming right now.
There it is again, that one in the corner of my screen.
You are roasting the shit out of me right now. Oh man. Once I have people on a few times, this show's just gonna become like my art friends fucking make me eat shit for like making them eat shit a few months ago.
Yeah, we secretly go practice as much as possible.
Like you, Melissa Bugley Woods, and Baby Liz. Oh shit. But please, you could honestly like give me some insight that could make me feel okay about living, and you're just playing this game.
Holding it back.
Yeah. Why do you feel like it's a delusion? Because life is just like trying to navigate spaces that are unknown, so we're always lost all the time?
Yeah, you just said it. You
Yeah.
just said it perfectly. Yes, and so if it's interesting, I mean, okay, it gets intense, and that deserves a lot of empathy and respect,
But like when people say they feel lost, maybe they're giving more anxiety to an issue than they need to or something? I'm gonna make you stop playing this game so you can hold a conversation.
Okay. Well, here's something that comes up for me regarding creativity. I don't think it's always important to be creative, although I love creativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you could be very creative about where you should be, or what you should have done, or who you should be in touch with, or what you should have said. That's all creativity.
Is thinking of all those countless shows.
Yeah. The theories about what is real and what's not. The problem is here, I don't necessarily have the answer, and if I did, I probably couldn't put it into words.
I'm not asking for any answers.
But it just doesn't. It seems that we start believing a lot of stories that we tell ourselves or hear, and that's what makes us feel lost. Or makes us feel successful or found, but that's not even necessarily. Well, that could be a delusion too. So, in a way, being lost, or the feeling of lost, if it inspires one to ask more questions or pause or whatever, question reality, then the sense of loss is maybe a grace.
Mm-hmm. It definitely
Like
forces me to feel
and says,
present. Then it does flip a switch.
Third place.
You're doing good. You're getting there.
Should I change my stats?
Too late.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I also think a lot about like mythologies that we share as a culture and how those a lot of times feel more pertinent to our everyday lived experience than like religious mythologies, for example. And I mostly think about this because I think a lot about how my morality and ethics are informed more by like anime than anything.
I just gave a look that said, wow, that's another thing I don't know much about. Okay, so please
I mean,
share.
basically like TV shows.
Okay.
And TV shows that like grapple with more difficult subject matter than a lot of Western television. For example, like how to be a good friend, how to be a good teammate, how to
sweet.
deal with grief and loss and trauma,
Okay.
believing in like magic, or like a lot of themes of a lot of shows are basically like if you work really hard, then you'll like find your way in the world and you'll find a home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
like if you watch Avatar, The Last Airbender or The Legend of Korra, you'll get what I'm talking about. Even though those are Western television shows, as far as I know.
But same world or same.
No,
theme.
same. They're drawing from the same culture for like the method of storytelling and reference and stuff, but it's a different story. And so anyway, I think a lot about how like if I specifically think of like characters as substitutes for like mother and father figures that I wish I had, but I don't. Because they can show like care and love in ways that my parents can't or don't. Cool.
Did I do that?
Yeah, you did.
Want to take a pause?
For real?
No.
Okay. Press
Hit
A,
that.
my guy. Or not A, but okay, whatever.
So
Or-
some of the characters become or serve as, say, like surrogate
Yeah.
people that are
yeah.
in your life.
Or like if I'm facing a difficult situation, I might think like, all right, what would like Uncle Iroh do? What would this other character do?
Mm-hmm.
Usually not what would Naruto do, because he's like he just does the same stuff all the time and it gets like weird to a point. But so then I think about like, you know, me and a bunch of other weebs on the internet like base our understanding of the world in large part around these shows, and I feel like that constitutes like a huge shift in the human experience that is a byproduct of the internet. And I think the fact that it's like a shared experience is huge. So like I'm fans of the McElroys and they make a lot of content. And I was at a party recently where I like mentioned the name McElroy, and then someone from across the room was like, "Oh, you like this podcast and you like this TV show and you like this other stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we became friends, and I joined their D&D group, and now I play D&D with them on Mondays, and it's sick as hell. And like I don't know,
So it's a way to connect with people.
And the McElroys convey their own sense of like ethics in their content. It's not all just like fun and games, they're also talking about like how to deal with trauma, how to support one another, how like a way of belief that our lives matter to each other and that we have a significant impact on each other. And like, I don't know, as a depressed kid on the internet, it's like huge for me to hear stuff like that.
That sounds great.
So yeah. So then you were talking about, and so I guess that's one way in which, like, if I were to feel lost in the sense of like a community or spirituality or something, then I might honestly like look to the internet and these communities as a place to find familiarity. Now I'm wanting to go back to grad school just to study how the internet saves people's lives by answering or by filling in the existential gaps that are left behind by, like, I don't know, late capitalism. I'll just blame everything on late capitalism. Or the fall of, maybe it's kind of like we killed God again
And we made
in
a
the
new
Nietzschean sense, but or maybe like God is, yeah, we did make new gods. Ooh.
Creatively, right?
This is fun. Yeah, and like, and we can trace their origin, and they're not actually like overpowering entities who have an impact on our lives. It's like Superman.
Wait.
Or like,
say again?
Because like in the same way that, like, you know, how I'm a fan of certain things, other people are fans of like superhero characters, and so those people provide a sort of an ethos and a mythology that helps people find their place in the world. And so we create these new gods, and one of those gods might be like Superman or Spider-Man or Batman or the Joker. So I wonder if it's like a continuation of like a Nietzschean idea of killing gods, except that we created a new mythology.
That's great.
Someone must have written about this, right?
I think we're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing. But I hadn't correlated that to the idea of like feeling lost. Or maybe I need to think about what I really mean when I use that word.
Lost?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so okay, yeah. Well, don't think too much about it.
Why not?
Because if you don't think about it at all, that might be a quicker way out.
I mean, I don't mind feeling lost.
I
like feeling lost.
Okay. What are some benefits of feeling lost? Because that's not a challenge.
Like looking at the world through a new lens, or questioning your assumptions about things, or being open to like seeking new things, even if like, I don't know, I miss having a car because I can't just like go drive 30 minutes somewhere and see where I end up, you know? And that idea of the derive, it's harder to go on a derive here.
But what if you, right, so walking isn't...
I mean, I can walk, but I've lived here for so long that anywhere I can walk within a reasonable distance, like, I've been there.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sixth.
My friend, Peach is not helping you. And that's also, I also feel like if I can get the van and get on the road, then maybe I can literally find this place that I almost remember. Wouldn't that be a trip?
That would be a trip.
But it also feels like I'm living in a Ben Gibbard song, which I'm like not okay with. Because you can...
Okay, you have a van. Where do you head first?
I think Philly. Philly feels right for some reason. Actually, I mean, if I like had time and money, Philly, but honestly the realistic thing is probably Boulder, because my brother lives there, and I could like crash. I could use a shower, and he knows people who like do video stuff, so I could find work there. And then I would want to go to like the Pacific Northwest, and maybe like even way northeast in the summer, because I miss that area. I used to spend a lot of summers up in the Finger Lakes.
Maybe you could take this, what we're doing here, on the road in the van.
Yeah, that's the idea.
You might not invite people into the van to play video games.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's a mobile setup.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe at least out back of the van.
That sounds creepier somehow. If the van's rocking, we're energetically playing video games. That's it. I promise. No, but yeah. I have a friend who also like says that people are interested in my sort of ads I make for shows, for art shows, but I think he's just saying that to be nice. I haven't seen much come of that, so...
Careful, he's watching right now.
No, he's not. Nobody's watching.
What if this is the only thing that's real? Grace
I
and
mean, it
Amery's
is,
sin
right?
And creative current.
This moment. Yeah, like the singularity theory might say that, oh wow, I just straight up ran into a wall. Might say that nothing outside the room you're in exists, but that doesn't trip me up because I'm like, yeah, I would still be doing the same shit I'm doing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, as far as my perceived experience of living goes, it doesn't change anything.
And why limit it to a room? What if it, just because you can't see on the other side of the walls?
Yeah, it's dumb. But that's like what people who are on the internet too much like trip themselves up about. They're like,
Oh.
what if it's all... What if we're all just in a big video game? It's the size of the universe.
Super creative.
Yeah, but I mean a boring idea at this point. Like, how far do we push our existential angst?
No further.
That's what I'm arguing for, but mostly just because I'm bored.
There's so many ways not to be bored, though.
I mean,
That's
bored of
pretty
that
interesting.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, come on now.
Like,
No, believe me, I actively try to remain not bored.
do you think there's a fear that comes with boredom?
Yeah, because like kids these days don't know how to live in their own heads. Myself included. You know, like you need to practice, you need to have a good mindfulness discipline in order to be okay with being bored. Because our brains are just like computers that will keep running, so if you don't know how to like shut it down or put it in sleep mode, like it's just gonna run itself into the ground. Right? You know that feel.
Fourth. Yeah, sleep mode. I swim for that.
Oh, that's good.
I like the swimming. I just think, okay, breathe, don't breathe, breathe, don't breathe, breathe, don't breathe. Don't hit that wall. Turn around. That's it.
That's what I'm hoping. Also on the road, I would love to like be able to go hiking and camping all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like having to put a solid effort into maintaining just my like human needs on a day-to-day basis would somehow help me live my life better,
It sounds satisfying.
or help me feel a little bit better about living. Trying to figure it out, dude.
Yep.
It's a tricky puzzle. And thankfully, I just because you're my friend and I don't want you to worry, I am like in a sort of I assume you want to play more because I feel like
I definitely want to play more. You're calling out my character. I gotta stay.
Did you want to be Waluigi?
No.
Oh, okay.
My core values are loyalty and freedom. I discovered that. At least they are.
Wait, what do you mean? How did you
No.
discover that?
I actually pretty much just picked them randomly off a list, or they jumped out first. I saw a list. I was
Wait,
like,
what?
those two.
Wait, I take it
Seemed
back. I
pretty
don't want to
good.
be Waluigi. I was gonna say I'm in a kind of a therapy that I can pursue throughout the country. So if I do go on the road, then I'll have resources
Cool.
elsewhere. So I'm fine. I have a community. I think you have to press this too, because I took us back. Thanks.
Got it.
Wait, what made you think of that though?
Of what?
Loyalty and what are your core values? Loyalty and what now?
I feel like to say that now again is really gonna etch it into stone. But I said loyalty and freedom. But I was referring to
Peach?
To Peach. I feel
Why?
loyal because I didn't want to pick someone else. I I felt, you know what?
And the same build,
We've
too,
seen
right? The
first
same car.
a couple times, but we're coming in more at like 4th or 6th, but I'd rather have 4th or 6th with you, Peach, than first with anybody else.
We'll get through this, Peach.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe you could make a van look like one of these carts and then drive that around.
Yeah,
Might be
I'll
some kind of
definitely
company.
not get robbed doing that. Yeah, but what is... you know what? I'm not even going to go near that.
You were going to say what is freedom?
Yep.
Well, she's-
That's another boring question that philosophers have tried to define for a long time, and honestly, I don't care. To me, freedom is being able to say, fuck Kant and everybody. Even though I don't know shit about Kant to say all that. But what would my core values be? I feel like...
Yeah, what are,
I mean, I describe myself as like hedonistic and satanic, so that
in
kind
a
of
way to
covers the
balance out
bases.
other kinds of religion or...
Yeah, mostly coming
ideology,
from like
or-
Roman Catholic angst, but also because using those terms has an implicit self-definition, which I feel comfortable with. Although whenever I bring up Satanism, I make sure to clarify that I don't mean like LaVeyan or like satanic temple stuff. I mean more like just the core philosophy of being independent and thinking for oneself and acting on one's own volition and for one's own gain. Thankfully, because for me that usually, I mean, I think it's just the balance of my like adult child of alcoholic trying to take care of everybody else kind of a stuff, kind of a thing. Because really for me it just means like I know that doing what I want also means that like I will take care of other people and I will care, like, because it makes me feel good to do that. That's why I'm good to other people, is because it makes me feel good. And in turn, people like treat me in a way that makes me feel good. So, but there are a lot of like libertarian assholes who are Satanists. And I also like can't honestly say I agree with the atheistic implications of Satanism, because like I kind of believe, what if there is like some sort of metaphysical energy we can harness? I don't know. LaVey said that that was pretty much just like being able to manipulate people as a lower form of magic. And I'm like, I mean, sure, if you want to call it that, why not?
What's a lower form of magic?
LaVey said there were like lower magics and higher magics, and lower magic was just like how to win friends and influence people, kind of. And higher forms of magic are like more sort of occult practices of rites and, you know, sort of typical magic stuff. Boop, 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 which I'm thinking about exploring too, because why not?
And would the aim with magic be
to use like energy that is available to you and manipulate it to your own gain, pretty much. And so usually that's meant with the implication of like, wow, you're in second right now. With the implication of manipulating things for yourself, and it's really discouraged in the community to like use those powers to negatively on other people, because that can go wrong really quickly. And also it's just like a crappy thing to do with any sort of power you might have. It's not very nice. But yeah, I forget what LaVey said higher magic was specifically.
you think LaVey... wait. Okay, so the aim is that effect on yourself, your person.
Or in the situation around you. Not
In the
necessarily to
situation.
like curse other people, because that sucks. It's not a cool
And
thing
so
to do.
then the state, I mean, is it happiness, freedom? You know, to what end? To do all that for what?
I mean, yeah, to win friends and influence people and thereby gain
The lower
happiness.
magic.
Yeah.
And
But
the- and the
I
higher
don't know.
magic.
What is anyone to
Wait,
to what end do any of us do anything?
I don't know.
That's why I'm just trying to hang out and play video games, because like what else is there to do? Like hang out with people. Oh. Ooh, are we sliding in this water?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I wonder if having these streams later at night is gonna create like a weird mood.
These dreams?
No, streams.
Streams later at night. Oh.
Where I just
right.
like talk about what I'm thinking about instead of letting other people talk about their lives.
Oh, I don't mind.
I feel like we have reciprocal conversations.
Yeah.
So. What else did we? Because we had some good challenges last time. I feel like we like challenged each other on some ideas.
We did.
I forget what we were talking about though. Do you remember? Art stuff.
Well, we're talking about illusions and delusions a little bit, right?
What's the difference in your mind?
I don't know exactly. Well, it's hard to think about words when you're holding
When you're
a
gaming.
turtle shell.
Gaming real hard.
Uh,
You gotta feel the road, Amery. Just feel it roll beneath
oh
you.
yeah. Oh, just felt a lightning bolt.
It hot.
Oh. So, okay. You and I are doing a mirror, playing mirror checkers, let's say.
Okay.
So, it looks like, let's say, one person's moving in a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You're finished?
I done did it. It just occurred to me that this might be private, so I'm trying to see if we can check that.
Yeah, this was that was a challenge. That was a tough course. But the illusion might be that there's such two separate things playing in the first place.
So the checkers and the playing the checkers.
Like you and I playing mirror checkers or doing a mirror drawing might look like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, that looks like one person moving in front of a mirror. But another way to look at it might be that the illusion is more that we might assume that it's actually two people playing something on separate sides of a plane of glass.
What, so the participation and the observation of the activity?
Yeah.
What? I'm not trying to like harsh your vibe. I'm just wondering what you're talking about.
Did you say harsh your vibe?
Yeah.
No, it didn't harsh my vibe. It made me laugh.
Good. So if this has 6 views, it's got to be public, right? Guys, if you could just like type literally anything in the chat and let me know that like it's working, that'd be cool. I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. What's another example that's not your art?
I'm just saying, yeah, totally doesn't need to be that particular example because really it's everywhere. What do you think about the idea of it being possible to experience all this as real, but not from a place of feeling so alone or singular, or alone being attached to a person and not as everything?
I'm pausing because I want to pay attention to what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that again?
What do you think about experiencing all this as real, but not from a point or place of assuming somehow you're alone as a lone person.
Or a lone observer?
Or observer. But like that might be a learned thing, and to unlearn that doesn't mean that like this mug would go away, or like our developed language would go away, or anything would go away. It seems possible. I'm not sure, but I think a lot of the like, whoa, what's going on? It's all right here, like we're not lost, but to think that somehow you're separate from everything is where it feels, I think, pretty intense, or could, in a bad way, but that's just maybe...
By separate, do you also mean alone?
Kind of, except that alone could also, it's more maybe like lonely than alone, like alone, away from. Alone could also be one thing and only one thing.
So then if we weren't observing and experiencing everything alone, because I leapt to an assumption that you meant something more than trying to bridge the gap between like you and me and communicating and sharing an experience, right? Mm-hmm. So like what I would jump to is like thinking about my ancestors and like my lineage, mm-hmm. also experiencing this life as I'm experiencing it or something. Is that kind of what you mean?
Like you have more of a family in your presence, mm-hmm. than just what you remember more concretely. And I mean more like you and I are 2 fingers on the same hand or 2 hands on the same body.
Oh, so we all go back and we're all attached to the same like consciousness.
And time is only one way to find the connection. History, mm-hmm. is only one way to kind of dust for the fingerprints of. Mm-hmm.
So that reminds me of like ideas of a God that aren't like an omniscient Judeo-Christian thing. They're more of like a continued life energy sort of idea. Mm-hmm. See, and there are like illustrations of that in anime and manga and TV shows that I really love that like move me a lot.
That's great.
And that's like another, yeah. That's like why fucking anime informs my belief system. It's stupid. But it's so cool at the same time.
Well, doesn't it seem...
Because it becomes a mythology to express these ideas and like tell stories about like these ideas. Like I can point to 2 specific modes of storytelling that are talking about this idea that you're talking about and illustrate it in really beautiful ways. And for me, those become a mythology because it's an expression of this like spiritual idea. Mm-hmm.
And we've already learned that we are rather confused by living in or as the mythology. So
like we're confused when we think we're living the mythology?
When we're lost, able to see the mythology and wishing. You said that these things inform. Mm-hmm. So if you have something that informs, but then you go to picture yourself as separate from what's informing you.
Oh, rather than a part of the flow of the river.
Seems like there's something there.
Yeah.
Because if the informer, I can't stop thinking of a song from years back.
I'm too young to know what
you're talking about. I'm an old man. You're talking about creating gods and then killing them and then going through like, oh man, God's dead. And then creating new gods.
Yeah.
Or new
mythologies that inform that spiritual thing.
So if their role is to point or affirm, cool. But
that's still
if the expectation is to
And that implies a removal from one's experience from the current. Yeah, it's like a pointing at the moon thing. That's something that I've heard a lot.
Could be.
Is like,
I don't know.
Like any spiritual practice we have is a hand pointing at the moon, but what we're all aiming for like is the moon or something, I think, is what that means. So we end up like praising gods that really are only representational of the hand. They're not the actual moon. In an older sense. I'm not talking about in like an American god sense. But yeah, that's an interesting thing to think about. It's like, how does it feel to be a part of that current? And I feel like I have moments like that, like when I meet a stranger at a pub or something and we have a really insightful, touching conversation, like then I feel like I really am a part of the current. But like, or like just being able to be a positive influence on people's lives feels that way. But like, I wonder what that means in like a daily lived practice. And if like, there's another idea that we're all just the universe looking at itself, right? So if I think of my experiences like feeling lost that way, then maybe it's also more of a feeling of like the universe is looking at itself, then through me it's looking at itself in a new way, or a slightly novel way or something.
So that's a theory of interconnectedness. But what do you mean by we? Like the universe is looking through us, and all of a sudden we're going through this loneliness of being apart from the universe. So it's a nice thought of like, oh great, we're all connected, but I'm just a conduit. So how could we be, and I might be lost from it, or just...
Is the conduit still an implicit removal from itself?
I think it feels that way. Sometimes, or I've had, like my brain has had the experience of being able to think about interconnectedness like that, but then still feel like a fear of what about if I'm not, like if I'm...
Yeah, like do you think that's our primal intelligence arresting that like transcendence, because we're like, okay, but what about my like needs? What about eating and shelter?
I
don't know. Like it does seem like we stop ourselves from like truly, or I do anyway. I stop myself from like truly believing all this hippy dippy fun stuff. And I don't know
because what
why.
would be lost? It's like
The
a
sense
fear
of
that,
like
like
self as an
things are just gonna
individual, I
fall
guess.
apart.
Yeah.
That makes sense, or sounds familiar. As if we would just stop functioning, or there'd be like a black void, or a...
I mean, according to like the tenets of our society, especially like American society, then yeah, like everything would be lost. But it's not a huge loss by any means. It's certainly fucking not. We can stand to lose more of that. This is what's driving us into the blessed ground right now.
Yeah, I don't know. One more round?
Okay.
Or one more something? You want to let it rest?
out. I'm gonna smoke a cig to try to
Not.
feel in my body, because I'll be destroying it. I also feel like at the end of the last one, we were like, we should hang out more.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Well, stop back if you have some time off or a lunch break. Come down here and maybe give me a heads up, because a lot of our time will be spent here finding out what is important to people and interesting to people. You know, if they're into exploring music, I'll be setting up for that.
Okay, cool.
Painting, that, so on. But I mean to say, we're also going to be out and about, visiting other studios or bookstores, library, parks. So
to see what like services.
I'm inviting you to stop by Well, just to engage with people at all different levels. To get out and about.
Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up.
If everybody's lost, is nobody lost?
That's dumb.
That's great. If everybody's lost, that's like...
Convince me why that's great.
Convince me why it's dumb. I felt great saying it, and you seemed rather upset by saying it was dumb, so... You could be right, and I'll be happy.
But that was strong on my part. What I meant to say was, can you please elaborate? But I stuck by it because I felt like being an internet troll. If everybody's lost, is nobody lost. We're all just chickens running around with our heads off. I mean, we are anyway, but...
No, we're chickens running around with our heads on.
But still just meandering about, poking at the dirt, hoping to find a grub or two.
I think that's not giving enough respect to chickens.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Have you ever tried to catch a chicken?
Yeah, you usually need at least 2 people to get it done. If it's a free range situation, if you can't corner it.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
If everybody's lost, is nobody lost. I guess I think about feeling lost in terms of a more like personal thing.
Sure. So it's stuff like finding a place in like the daily kind of things. One more? See, I'm hooked now.
Gotcha. That's what these video games will do to you.
If you sell me a Switch, that's going to break the internet. I would never shop or look to acquire my own gaming system, but if after this I get one, you'll have surpassed all kinds of effort and advertisements.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Amery.
You may be convincing me to become a gamer, is what I'm saying.
Dude, that's the other thing, is that like normies need to game more. No offense.
Am I Do I get a badge with that?
I mean, that really ties into what we're talking about, right? I love it. Because games also have, like, vivid stories to tell. Like, in the new Zelda game, there's this mechanic to discover information where you, like, recover memories.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting so emotional looking for these memories because, like, you know, having difficulty with my own memory and, like, really being emotionally invested in helping Link, like, discover what happens was, like, moving for me. So it's just, like, a really good vehicle for storytelling. And, like, D&D podcasts, too. Oh, man. Just, like, having the element of chance involved in trying to construct a narrative is so much fun. It's such a cool challenge. I can't believe you're loyal to Peach right now.
She's all I got.
That's not even true. It's literally not true. I should have said yes when you wanted to switch characters before.
Oh. What do the coins do?
I don't know. Some say they give you a boost, but I don't know.
They make a cool sound.
They make a cool sound. And the more my friends play on my system, the more cool stuff I get, so that's cool. I'm okay with that.
We're earning stuff with the coins?
Yeah, like, you know how
well,
we
that answers.
uncovered new cars and stuff?
Ah.
I think that's what the coins do.
Cool.
It'd be cool if you could, like, earn games with them and get literal new games, but Nintendo would never make things that easy. Do-do-do-do-do-do. What else is there to talk about, Amery?
So much.
Yeah, another whole thing that makes me feel tired is how people think about creativity these days. Less art sounds like a really fucking good thing. I'm gonna talk to some kids at the high school I went to about like how to, I don't know, try to navigate a career in art and media.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking a lot about things that my friends who are professors have said to me or like said on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like cultivating a practice of creativity and making things for yourself is huge, because I feel like kids these days are so pressured to like try to commodify stuff or to become like famous at a young age that it really inhibits their ability to actually like go about living as an artist in like a healthy way.
Trying things, making things that
Yeah.
might not get a lot of attention or seem silly or...
Yeah, just for the sake of making.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know. I'm tired, dude.
There's a lot of karting.
This is a solid hour, 15 minutes of karting. Feel good about it?
I feel great about it. Thank you.
Anything else you want to say? You're welcome. The clocks in the background are just killing me.
Both of them.
Okay, bye, y'all. Thanks for coming on, Amery.
Thank you, Grace.